Hey, welcome back. Are you dealing with insomnia? Well, if you are, you're not alone. It's one of the most common issues that people deal with. And good news is there are some natural remedies for it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Hession. I'm a medical intuitive and an energy healing practitioner. And what we're talking about today is something that probably all of us have dealt with at some point in our lives, and some people suffer from almost every day, and that is insomnia. So we're going to look at natural remedies and approaches to get to the cause of it and help get rid of it so that you can get the sleep you need. Now, first of all, insomnia can take several different forms, and any or all of these can produce inadequate or poor quality sleep, which is essentially what insomnia is. So sometimes it takes the form of difficulty falling asleep in the first place. It can also be waking up several times during the night and or difficulty going back to sleep after you've woken up, or also just unrefreshing sleep. So you slept, but the sleep still left you tired. And it can be a combination of any or all of this. Insomnia is no joke. If it's occasional and only occasional, it's no fun, but if we're otherwise healthy, our bodies will recover. But if it's a chronic problem, it not only can make us grumpy and out of sorts, but it can cause accidents, sometimes life-threatening or even life-ending accidents. It lowers our mental sharpness, our ability to think clearly and effectively, so that impacts every area of our lives. It can also put you at risk for heart disease, heart attack, high blood pressure, strokes, and diabetes, to name a few of the diseases that chronic lack of sleep has been linked to. Not to mention, lack of sleep also kills your sex drive. Now, there's a number of medications, both prescription and over-the-counter, that can be taken as needed or regularly to help you sleep. And there's plenty of places, most notably your own doctor, where you can get information about those if you think that that's what you need. However, since you're watching this video, I know you're more interested in and hoping to get relief from more natural, drug-free approaches, so let's look at that. So I'm going to first talk about ways to help manage insomnia, some good habits to get into, some bad habits to get out of, that certainly have made a difference for many people. But then I'm going to get into what may be really causing this sleep problem in the first place from the paradigm or the point of view of energy healing, and how that may help you to address it at a deeper level, like really at the root. So what are some natural and effective ways to deal with insomnia and get the sleep you need? Well, they're pretty basic, and that's because the basics really matter. First of all, getting some exercise every day is one of the best and most important things to do, not just for sleep, but for our overall health and for stress reduction as well. So if you are having trouble sleeping and you aren't getting any significant amount of exercise each day, do not ignore this as a factor. It may not be all that you need to do, but it should be at least one part of your approach to get more sleep. Our bodies were made to move, and they need to move every day to function properly. So go for a walk at least. Relaxation techniques like meditation, even just sitting and breathing deeply and slowly for 5 to 10 minutes, visualization, all of these I and many other people have found very helpful to make sure that we sleep well at night. So that's another technique I encourage you to look at, especially doing that right before bed, although it's helpful any time of day to center and ground you. Dimming the lights a good half hour or more before you plan to go to bed or prepare for sleep can make a huge difference. There's a gland in your head, it's called the pineal gland, and it is light sensitive through the medium of your eyes, of course. And in the presence of darkness, it secretes a hormone called melatonin, which helps us to sleep. It keeps producing melatonin throughout the night, or it should, and then it starts to wind down again towards morning. So you can take melatonin as a supplement to help to sleep, but what I most want to emphasize here is that your body produces it naturally in response to darkness. So you can use that simple fact to help you start to feel drowsy by lowering the lights earlier in the evening and helping your body prepare for sleep. Paying attention to little things that create comfort can make a huge difference. The temperature, for example. Personally, I like a room to be cold when I sleep, but you may need to be much warmer. So figure out what works for you on temperature and try to be consistent with that as much as possible. It can make a big difference. Noises, of course, can be a huge thing. Many people do swear by using a noise machine that can play white noise or relaxing music or ocean waves or raindrop sound. So that's something that you should check out as well. For centuries, people have used the scent of lavender to help them sleep. And some scientific studies have backed this up. You can see links below to that. So try using a few drops of lavender essential oil on your pillow or somewhere where you can easily detect the scent when you're trying to head off to sleep. Herbal teas, of course, most notably chamomile, can also be very helpful to help our bodies wind down and relax at the end of the day. And you can see a study about that below as well. Caffeine, this should not be any surprise to anybody. Avoiding caffeine either completely or at the very least any later than noon can make a huge difference for most people. Now, one of the most important is to make time to prepare for bed and relax ahead of time. If you're working hard or taking care of kids, which is hard work, or watching the news or on the computer doing social media right up until you turn out the light, that can have a terrible effect on your sleep. Computer, phone, and TV screens are not good for your sleep if you watch them right before. There is quite a bit of research, you can see links below from Scientific American and Harvard Medical School, showing that the blue light emitted from computer and TV and phone screen when it's watched right before bedtime can throw off your body's biological clock. And it may decrease your body's production of melatonin, which, as you know, helps us fall asleep. And that's in addition to the fact that whatever you're watching or engaging with on that screen, whether it's the news, which is probably the last thing any of us should be watching before bedtime, or Facebook, or that Excel doc you've been working on, they're stimulating your brain at a time when you really want to be starting to calm down, relax, and let go of the day. Now, every one of these suggestions is important and should help, at least to some degree and at least some nights. But what I want to get into now is more about what might be causing and driving this trouble sleeping in the first place from the point of view of energetic healing. So as I said at the top, I'm a medical intuitive and an energy healing practitioner. And if you weren't at least somewhat open to or interested in the idea of energy healing, you probably wouldn't have kept watching past that opening line. So let's talk a bit about how energy healing can help. Now, my videos on what is energy healing and what does an energy healer do are good resources if you're new to the idea and you want to find out more. But the super short version for right now is that energy healing is really a general or umbrella term for any number of different healing modalities that work with the energy systems of the body to promote or stimulate or unblock the body's own natural processes, its own natural healing ability. It's based on the idea that any illness or dysfunction in the body has underlying causes, or what we might call imbalances. And that when we can correct these imbalances, the body has a remarkable ability to heal itself. That makes sense, right? So I find that the specific underlying imbalances causing the people that I've worked with to have trouble sleeping are quite unique and individual. Quite often I do find that there's an imbalance of the pineal gland, which shouldn't surprise you after what I was talking about earlier. But the imbalances that are causing the issue with the pineal gland will vary widely from one person to another. In other words, we have imbalances that are causing other imbalances, and sometimes other imbalances that are causing those, and you have to kind of follow the trail down from one imbalance to the next to uncover everything that's going on and get all of those imbalances cleared. Now, far and away the most common type of imbalance that causes the imbalance of the pineal gland, and in fact behind all health issues I've ever helped people with, has been trapped, blocked emotional energy that's stuck in our bodies from some time in the past. So these trapped emotional energies or emotional baggage, they negatively affect our organs, our glands, really all the tissues of the body at the cellular level. Not surprisingly, they also promote anxiety and stress and pain and dysfunction. They can have a big impact on our immune system. And in my experience, they can drive negative behaviors and patterns in our lives as well. Releasing them unblocks our body's own amazing ability to heal itself and restore balance, including the ability to sleep deeply and restfully. So please watch my video on what is emotional baggage to learn more about that. And I also highly recommend the book, The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And you'll see a link to that below in the notes. So using energy healing, we can not only identify these trapped emotions that are causing this imbalance of the pineal gland or whatever imbalance it is that's contributing to the insomnia, but also once identified, these trapped emotions can be cleared from the body for good in a matter of seconds. And when all the imbalances affecting your sleep are cleared, the body can heal and balance itself. And bottom line, you get your sleep back. And one of the most common things that people report experiencing in dealing with insomnia is racing thoughts, right? Their mind just won't shut off. They keep replaying things that happened either that day or from the past. Can't stop worrying, can't stop trying to figure out how to fix things, feeling stressed. That sounds familiar, right? Well, doesn't it make sense that these trapped emotions that are stuck in our body from the past, they're kind of like the engine that's driving that whole intense, impossible to relax and slow down the mind experience. So when we clear that racing, fretting, worrying mind, it just shuts down and peace at last. So all of us should be using the advice I gave above to help us prepare for healthy, restful sleep in general, right? But getting at the underlying engine that's driving us in our bodies to stay awake, getting that shut down, that in my experience is the most important key. And it will benefit us in so many other aspects of our health as well. So here's your assignment. Try some of the tips that I talked about in the video. Go get some sleep and then report back in the comments. Let me know how it's going. Talk to you next time.